believe in the X-Men.
I've waited so long for this second season of X-Men 97 that it almost turned me into a cynical fan, as I wondered if it'll be stuck in development hell forever. I mean, you can't really fault me for this because there were some disturbing news bits, like the firing of the season 1 creator, Beau DeMayo. However, after almost 2 years, we're finally back on track, and the trailer for the second season has lived up to the hype and the legacy of the franchise. I still remember how amazing season 1 was, picking up from where the iconic X-Men the Animated Series had ended. It became one of the most celebrated Marvel Studios projects in recent times, and everything from the animation to the script was perfectly done. The promising trailer of the second season seems to have upped the stakes, and I love the crazy buildup. In this video, I'll cover some of the crazy details and Easter eggs from the trailer so that you are better prepared for the final release. The new X-Men costumes are just perfect. What is a show like this without some heartfelt nostalgia? Well, almost all of the existing X-Men seem to be rocking new outfits, and they're all throwbacks to some popular look in the comics. For instance, there's a scene in the trailer where Wolverine can be seen flashing his claws with a sly grin on his face. I've noticed that this particular moment is actually a recreation of Frank Miller's famous cover for 1982's Wolverine #1. I guess he's in for some good times after his horrible ordeal from the first season, where the adamantium coating on his skeleton has been ripped out by Magneto. Also, the others like Cyclops and Jean are sporting the suits from the new X-Men run during the early 2000s by Grant Morrison and Frank Quietly. Even with Storm, you can see that she's not wearing the silver outfit and has gone for the one that was given by Jim Lee, who gave some of the most memorable X-Men costumes. I think my personal favorites are the gray and yellow clothes worn by Jean Grey, Cyclops, and Rogue. And even before the release, the second season's already high on the nostalgia factor. The ending of season 1 syncs perfectly with the second season. As thrilled as I was for X-Men 97, I still wasn't prepared for the thrilling 3-part season finale titled Tolerance is Extinction. It ended in a crisis as the X-Men fought the sinister Operation Zero Tolerance and the Prime Sentinels along with Magneto. It also created a division in the group as Rogue and Sunspot joined Magneto. Eventually, they try to stop Asteroid M from crashing into Earth, and it seemingly explodes in mid-atmosphere. It looks like only Sunspot, Jubilee, and Forge have survived, and the X-Men are apparently dead. But the reality is that the mutant superheroes have been hurled into 2 different points in time. While Cyclops and Jean have ended up in the year 3960 AD, where they encounter the clan Ascani, the other group of X-Men land in 3000 BC ancient Egypt, where they meet Saba Nur, who will eventually become Apocalypse. A young Nathan Summers is sheltered among clan Ascani, and we all know he grows up to be Cable. This second season seems to have linked up with the story quite well, and you can be sure of Apocalypse making his presence felt. There was a hint in the mid-credit scene that he would turn Gambit into one of his 4 horsemen, and I think you'll see that playing out in season 2. The importance of Cable in the story. It's pretty obvious that Cable would have a major role to play in the events of the second season, and the trailers just confirm that. You can see Cyclops and Jean Grey reuniting with their son in the distant future. As Cable trains to fight Apocalypse, I think you'll see some thrilling moments in the narrative here. And I'm also curious to find out more about the role of Cyclops and Jean Grey. The clan Ascani will supposedly train Cable, and time traveling will come in handy given how the story's shaping up. In the trailer, you can see the teenage version of Cable, and some have even pointed out that he resembles Nate Grey, an alternate reality version of Cable. A series of big cameos. The season 2 trailer has thrown up some very big cameos, and as a Marvel fan, I'm thrilled to see these characters appear almost unexpectedly. What's more, some of them might even make it big with a role more significant than a cameo. Of course, you can't miss the scene in the trailer where Colossus holds the body of his dead sister Illyana, or Magic. This might be shocking, but you have to consider how Magic wasn't really an important character back in the 90s, and ended up as a victim of the Legacy virus. According to this narrative, Colossus can show his negative side briefly as he joins the Acolytes, and I wouldn't be surprised if he's portrayed as a minor antagonist in Season 2. The other significant cameo is that of Deadpool, but it's just the shapeshifter Morph taking his form. And I just cannot get over the scene with Rama Tut, the ancient Egyptian ruler who uses the time-traveling machine to become the infamous Marvel villain, Kang the Conqueror. The other additions to the Season 2 lore are Exodus and Danger, the Robot Lady. Also, Psylocke is set to return, and I'm intrigued to find out all about their roles in the narrative. Rogue still mourns Gambit. One of the first things that you see in the trailer is a grim reminder of a tragedy from the first season as Rogue mourns the loss of Gambit. I think everyone remembers the heroic death of Gambit and how it affected Rogue, who even joined Magneto's side. A scene shows someone handing her one of Gambit's playing cards, and it's quite possibly Jubilee. What if the card is given to her to show that Gambit has returned? And from the looks of it, Gambit's return as a pawn of Apocalypse might not be the best circumstances for romance. The role of Polaris. It's safe to say that Polaris will be a significant character in Season 2, and in the trailer you can see her, which means that she comes with her entire backstory. For those who don't know, Polaris is the daughter of Magneto, although she doesn't find out until much later in her life. She can also control magnetism, and Polaris has served on a mutant team of the US government called X-Factor, besides working with the X-Men temporarily. The way I see it, she could be a solid addition to Forge and Bishop as they team up to find the X-Men who are scattered across the various timelines. If you go purely by trailer footage, Polaris can be seen alongside Chambers, Synch, and Monet, who are all part of Generation X. All I can say with certainty is that the second season will draw heavily from the comics, but of course with a few necessary changes to suit the narrative. Magneto might now be allied with the X-Men. It's been an uncertain journey with Magneto back in Season 1, wasn't it? I mean, the man has gone from being a wise advisor to a dangerous opponent of the X-Men, and now it seems from the trailer that we might see him working with the X-Men all over again. Even his outfit has undergone a change, as he sports a tunic without a logo, which reminds me of how he looked in the graphic novel God Loves, Man Kills. And this is also the case of teaming up with the X-Men. It goes without saying that Magneto will have a very important role to play here, and I think we'll see him offering some useful inputs as he guides the team of X-Men who are with him. The Rise of Apocalypse storyline might be explored in Season 2. You can see all of them walking through an ancient Egyptian temple, but there's something strange about the place. First, you see some secret force blowing out a torch, and then you see them surrounded by what looks like futuristic technology, which feels extremely out of place. However, there's one major giveaway here because the robots that you see in the temple can be seen later at the feet of Apocalypse in a battlefield, and this is a solid hint at the comic book The Rise of Apocalypse. This comic series has a very gripping storyline as the young Apocalypse goes up against the forces of Rama-Tut. And what better way to link with Kang the Conqueror, who's basically the future version of Rama-Tut. Also, this makes me wonder if the scene that we see in the trailer is inside the Sphinx, which in the comic book narrative happens to be Rama-Tut's time machine. See, there are no two ways about this, that Apocalypse is an integral part of X-Men lore, and Season 2 is set to bring him into the mix of things with one grand narrative. In the trailer, you can see him with the Sandstormers, the tribe who recruit the future supervillain after he's exiled by his own people. The X-Men might attempt to prevent him from permanently embracing the evil side, but it might be more difficult and challenging than you would assume. Nightcrawler in a new avatar. If you're a comic book nerd like me, then you surely haven't missed this. The trailer shows Nightcrawler as a Catholic priest, and this is crucial because his faith has been an integral part of his character, which contrasts his appearance. In the comics, you can see how he ultimately becomes a priest and starts to wear a clerical collar alongside his costume. You can see the same in the trailer of Season 2 as well. And I wonder if they'll bring in elements from the whole story arc, where it's revealed that Nightcrawler looks that way because his father is the devil Azazel. Now, I'm not too sure that X-Men 97 will bring in Nightcrawler as a villain, so maybe they'll lift from the Draco storyline where this all goes down. It's basically just a collection of various references that will put together the show to continue the legacy of the X-Men. This could literally be one of the finest moments in the X-Men animated universe, and what I find particularly thrilling is the chance that it can go on to become such a big hit that the show will continue on for many more seasons. There's enough comic book lore to continue the story, and so far, X-Men 97 hasn't missed, be it in the first season or the trailer of the second season. If this trailer is any indication, it'll be bigger and better than the first, and I wish I had a time machine to go straight to July 1st and see how the action unfolds. Let me know in the comments below what you think of this eventful trailer, and also share your views on how you'd like Season 2 to go down. If you appreciate efforts to bring you content like this, please hit the like and subscribe buttons and ring that bell icon so that you don't miss any more future videos from our channel. Stay safe, have a great one, and as always, stay marvelous.